This is Carson. Can you hear us in Vegas? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hello, this is Carson. Can you hear us there in Las Vegas?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Can you hear us in Carson City?
We can.
Okay, I would like to call today's meeting for the State of Nevada Board of Examiners to order for August 9th, 2019. Could I have this clerk to call the roll, please?
Good morning. Governor Sisolak,
Here.
Secretary of State Sagaski,
Here.
Attorney General Ford.
Here.
Let the record reflect we do have a quorum.
Okay, this is the first time for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board on items that are on today's agenda, please step forward, identify yourself for the record, and comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any in Carson City?
We do not.
Do we have any in Las Vegas? We do not. Okay, moving along. Do I have a motion for approval item number 3, approval of the July 9th, 2019 minutes?
So moved.
Second.
We have motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? Hearing seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 4, Department of Administration, Victims of Crime Fiscal Year 2019, fourth quarter report, and fiscal year 2020, first quarter recommendation. Susan, good morning.
Good morning, Governor and members of the board. Item number 4 is a Victims of Crime fourth quarter report and a fiscal year 2020 first quarter recommendation. This will be the final report on the Board of Examiners agenda. due to a change in statute. Pursuant to NRS 217-260, the Board of Examiners is required to estimate the available revenue and anticipated claim costs for the State Victims of Crime Program. This item includes a report on the claims paid in the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2019 and a recommendation to pay priority 1, 2, and 3 claims at 100% for the first quarter of fiscal year 2020. When this report was submitted, the program anticipated having a reserve at the end of fiscal year 2020 of approximately $7.7 million after covering all expenses, and it includes a 45-day operating reserve, which is a slight increase from the projected reserve of $7.6 million.
Item number 4, victims.
Comment if I can, Governor.
Absolutely, Secretary Gasky.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank the ladies, the people that have been coming forward at every meeting, and thank them for everything that they've been doing. The reports have been really, really good, and just all the hard work that they've been doing for the years that I've been
Right.
listening to them and having them come forward. So just wanted to thank you very much.
Thank you, and we echo your comments. Do I have a motion, item number 4?
That one's an action item.
No?
That one's just
No action?
informational.
Okay. Item number 5, moving on, state vehicle purchases.
There are 3 requests for vehicles on this agenda item. The first request is from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Division of State Parks, to purchase 23 replacement vehicles which have met the age and/or mileage requirements in SAM, and 1 vehicles, and the third is to purchase 225 replacement vehicles that have met the age and mileage requirements in SAM. These vehicles are all included in the agency's legislatively approved budgets, and representatives are available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions on the vehicle purchases? I know I had some, but they've all been answered. I appreciate the
You
answer.
said they were in the budget.
Yeah.
Yes, they're all approved. Yep.
So moved.
Questions? We have a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, authorization to contract with current and/or former state employees.
Agenda item 6 includes 4 requests to contract with current and/or former employees pursuant to NRS 333-705 subsection 1. The first request is from the Department of Administration Purchasing Division on behalf of Capitol Police to contract with a former employee to perform administrative duties. This individual will be employed by Manpower through MSA contract number 18404. The second request is also from the Department employed by Marin Ross and Associates LLC, which is a master services agreement number 19314. The third request is from the Athletic Commission to contract with a current employee of the Secretary of State's office who will assist the commission staff during events and weigh-ins to ensure that all rules and regulations pertaining to unarmed combat are adhered to. And the fourth and final request is from the Department of Transportation to allow a contracted vendor to use a former employee to provide expertise to assist in alternative concept development and verification based on state and federal regulations for the I-15 Sahara Exchange. Representatives from the departments are available to answer.
Positions or backlogs with the exception of the Athletic Commission weigh-in stuff, which is, I guess, temporary basis. Do we have any discussion, any question on this? Do we have a motion?
Move approval.
We have a motion on the floor for approval.
Second.
And a second, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion, any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7.
Item number 7 is a request for salary adjustments. Sections 4, 5, 6, and 7 of AB 489 from the 2017 legislative session appropriated salary adjustment funds to the Board of Examiners to cover vacancy salary savings built into agency budgets, as well. This is not quite correct. Sorry, let me correct that. This is sections 4, 5, 6, and 7 of AB 5. salary savings built into agency budgets, as well as the 3% cost of living adjustments effective on July 1, 2017 and July 1, 2018, which were not included in agency budgets. The first request is for the Department of Employment Training and Rehabilitation, Commission on Post-Secondary Education to cover the cost of COLAs. This request has been reduced to $8,468. Ethics Commission to cover the cost of COLAs in the amount of $1,962. The Governor's Finance Office to cover the cost of COLAs in the amount of $47,647. The Nevada System of Higher Education Desert Research Institute to cover the cost of COLAs in the amount of $59,519. The Parole Board to cover the cost of COLAs in the amount of $3,200. The Department of Tourism and Cultural Affairs Stewart Indian School of Living Legacy to cover the cost of COLAs in the amount of $6,463. Representatives from the various agencies are available to answer any questions.
Okay, do we have any questions regarding these allocations of disbursements for salary adjustments?
No.
Do a motion?
So is the motion as amended? Because what we have
Yes.
is, okay.
As amended.
A move to approve as amended.
With that C8468 one?
Yes.
Correct, yeah. We have a motion and item number 8, request for recommendation of approval to the interim finance committee for allocation amount from the contingency account.
So item 8 includes 2 requests for allocations from the interim finance general fund contingency account pursuant to NRS 353-268. The first request is in the amount of $146,682 from the Department of Business and Industry, Office of the Labor Commissioner, to cover the projected costs related to the Task Force on Employee Misclassification arising from the passage of Senate Bill 493 of the 2019 legislative session. The second request is in the amount of $296,000. 2019 legislative session, which created the Patient Protection Commission. Representatives are available to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, do we have any questions regarding the allocations from the contingency account?
I don't. I just want to make a comment that I think both of these were very good legislation that passed. Thank you, Governor, for bringing on the Patient Protection Commission, but I think this misclassification issue was also big on that. I'm looking to see if addressed with this. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely, I think that they're going to be very effective and beneficial. Do we have a motion?
Move approval.
Second, we have a motion and a second on the floor on item number 8. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 9, request to pay a cash settlement.
Item number 9 includes a request for approval of a cash settlement from the Department of Transportation in the amount of $3,400 to fully resolve an eminent domain action to acquire 92 square feet and a temporary construction easement of 197 square feet as part of an ADA sidewalk improvement. Approval of this additional amount will bring the total settlement to $5,500, and there are representatives.
Enormous number. Why did it change from the first time till now? Who do we have from NDOT?
Mr. Geller is coming to the table. One moment, please.
Tracy Record, Dennis Gallagher from the Department of Transportation. The dollar amount went up from the initial appraised value that the department had placed on the property. There was no response from the out-of-state landowner, so we had to file suit so we could get occupancy to get the project done, and then subsequently the landowner's representatives contact us, the department, and we were able to reach the settlement for an additional $3,400.
So is the first appraisal stale? Is that what happened?
Jody?
Yeah. So, Your Honor, Governor's just like, we had, I know. Appraisal that was done that based the offer to the landowner on, and then time was going on, and we needed to certify the project, so we went ahead and we filed, because it was just a matter of communication, really, with the landowner. And then when we finally did file the case and we began a negotiation with them, they offered to settle at $5,500 total, which again, we would have had to order a new appraisal, which that could have eaten up the $3,400, you know, just in getting the updated appraisal. So that's why we feel that this is a great settlement for the state.
Okay. Got it. Do we have any other questions on this one? Item number 9? Nope. Okay, do I have a motion?
All right, move approval.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number, thank you both, all three of you. Item number 10, approval of proposed contracts.
There are 37 contracts in agenda item 10 for approval by the board this morning. Do any of the members have additional questions on any of these items?
No, I do not, and I just want to acknowledge from my point of view and the briefing that I have, because I always have significant amount of questions, I get answers back promptly, which answers my question. I think everybody's had the same
We have the
experience.
same thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
we had one
so-
that we had a question on, and your staff
Yeah.
was very,
So we
very
appreciate
forthcoming.
that,
Yeah,
and thank you very much for helping us with that. Here, do we have any questions? Okay, do I have a motion on? Motion passes. Item number 11, approval of proposed master service agreements.
There are 9 master service agreements under agenda item 11 for approval by the board this morning, and there were no additional information had been requested.
Thank you. This is likewise, I want to thank you for providing prompt answers to the questions that I have. Do you have any questions on the master service agreements?
no.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 12, approval of proposed work plan. Okay. Discussion?
Approval.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes on item number 12. Item number 13, clerk of the board contracts.
There were 47 contracts under the $50,000 threshold approved by the clerk between June 18th, 2019 and July 17th, 2019. This item is informational. Do any members have any additional questions on these items?
We do not. Thank you. That's for information only. Item number 14 is reports, Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Division of State Land.
So item 14 is an informational report regarding property transferred under the Lake Tahoe Mitigation Program, which is required pursuant to NRS 321.5954 and Chapter 355 Statutes of Nevada. This report is for the quarter ending June 30th of 2019. There were no acquisitions of land during this period. There were 6 transfers of land and real property during the quarter, which resulted in $39,684 in proceeds to the Nevada Land Bank. And representatives are available to answer any questions.
Information. Okay, that concludes our posted agenda. Item number 15 is public comment. This time is set aside for anyone wishing to address the board on any item. Please step forward, identify yourself for the record, and comments are limited to 3 minutes. I see one in Carson City, and I've got several down here. Good morning. You gotta push a little button and the light will come on.
We can't hear you.
Nope, still can't hear you. The little red light will come on the microphone.
Oh, can't hear you.
There you, now you got it, okay.
Attorney General and Secretary, my name is Kent Irvin, E-R-V-I-N. I'm speaking as a member of the Nevada Deferred Compensation Committee, but not for the committee as a whole, regarding the contract you just approved, number 35, and agenda item 10, record-keeping services for the NDC program 457 retirement plan. I wish to note that this contract was the result of a successful request for proposals process, resulting in lower expenses and higher guaranteed crediting rates for participants. But why is that notable? It's because this time around, we did not have an appeal to this body for this service contract, whereas in 2012, the RFP went south and was overturned by the purchasing administrator on appeal, and then the repeat RFP in 2014 was appealed all the way to this body. Part of that is because the good work of Executive Officer Rob Beamer and the committee of Senate Bill 502 changed the way that these RFP processes are done for the Nevada Deferred Compensation System. And because of SB 502, specifically NRS 287.338 now explicitly subjects the NDC program to the regular state purchasing procedures in NRS 33, but it also provides a very narrow exception to the open meeting law to allow the appointed committee members to serve on fully evaluate the proposed services. Part of the problems in the past were because the committee tried to evaluate closed competitive bids in open meetings with all vendors present, even for finalist interviews. That is simply not conducive to a fair and competitive process. But now with SB 502, transparency is still preserved because the proposals and evaluations become public record now that the contract has been awarded. So overall, this is a good news story where legislation has improved the governmental process. SB 502 also applied to the Public Employees Benefits Program Board, and I believe it could serve as a model for other public boards and commissions when board members are best situated or have a fiduciary oversight duty to be part of an RFP evaluation process for contracts. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other persons interested in public comment in Carson City?
There's no one else coming to the table.
Okay, Las Vegas, we're ready. If you come up to the table and push the little thing, the ring, and it'll go on, it'll turn green. And then identify yourself for the record and begin.
Good morning.
You've got to push the little ring there, yeah, to make it green on the side. There you go, okay.
Good morning, Mr. Governor. And my name is Sandy. I'm here to help Dawn and her people. And every time after they speak, I will play a video to show you guys.
Okay.
Can I set it up now?
Play video.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I'm Bill Newport, and I am a Nevada Concerned resident. I would like to show you a 30-second video that comments on the last dental board meeting about the new changes that the executive branch audit recommended. This video reveals the disrespectfulness of the old-time dental board as they sit back and empower the long-time standing executive director Schaefer to by agreeing that blurring out "yep" as the executive director finishes her talk. It doesn't help either that the Deputy Attorney General, Sophie Long, and the board attorney, Ms. Chapman, chuckled in agreement. Executive Director Schaefer goes on to complain about having to follow the governor's new audit process, but now takes away the board's control to prevent patient complaints from being filed. Schaefer says that she doesn't even know how the dentists are going to be able to respond to these complaints because she can't make heads or tail out of them. Deputy Attorney General Sophie Long then chuckles. Schaefer then goes on to say, "Good luck," and then mocks the governor by raising her hand in the air, says that when the dentists have questions about their complaints, she says, "Go see the governor." The board president then inappropriately concurs by saying, "Yep, other videos will show these arrogant board members shouting down the 3 new board members with negative comments while they are trying to ask questions regarding changing. Have tried to change out this board for over 20 years, but this time we believe that you, sir, are the one that is going to be able to accomplish this. Thank you, and please watch the video.
Now, are they gonna be able to see that video?
I can tell you from what I'm receiving,
Well, I don't think anybody can see the screen that you're looking at there, that's right. No, you need. I take care of it.
Carson City
Can we get this up on that screen? I'm not an IT person, but are we looking for a wire or cord or something? What are we doing? Yeah. A what? HDMI cord?
HDMI.
That wasn't me, okay?
I feel vindicated. I
Yeah.
feel vindicated. My grandkids know.
So we're looking for an HDMI cord.
I think he's figured it out.
Everything's getting technical.
Yeah, does somebody else want to, or do you have the cord?
I'm looking right now.
So how,
We're set for presentation, so one second.
okay.
Each one of us have something to say, and it goes right.
We're gonna take a little break here while they try to find the cord. Do we have one back here?
I think Randy's actually checking.
Randy's got one?
I'll ask.
Okay.
Catherine, if you want to sit up at the table, come ahead.
I can see sit up, look at it. You can hide in there or what?
Okay, I was last night.
Good. I'm sorry, what?
Okay, I'll find it.
Small containers.
Something or something, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen it before. I just know I've never seen it before.
Sorry.
Do we have one there?
ask the AG if he has one. Oh, he is gonna look.
Yeah. Well,
Just let them listen to
play
it.
it for us.
Yeah. And then they can listen.
Part of the record.
They can listen.
Can she email it to?
You guys
know, I
repeat
have
that
a-
question, I don't know what it is. Well, let's think about, I don't even know what the chord is, you can tell anybody you want, again, you think
Well,
it'll
we're
work.
clearing them out though. We're clearing them out.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ask first to see if
Ask them if they have a cable.
Yeah, why don't you,
They can email it to us.
if you can email it, that'd be great, and then.
Awesome.
Did the record reflect that Randy Rose found an HDMI cable?
And we learned what it is, but we don't know what it is.
Now is it, who gave it to you?
Princess.
Oh.
That's crazy. We
It'll
have to go
work,
see a
just
movie.
put the laptop right
I don't even know how the dentist is gonna respond.
here.
We
Okay,
went to see a movie last night, and I wanna pay, right? I wanna pay. And I'm like, okay, it says kiosk. I'm like, okay. I went with a friend, and I'm going, okay, I'm old, and what's going on? I just wanna pay for a movie. And I'm like, I went to this guy, I go, I wanna watch a movie, and I got 2 old ladies over there that need help. And he goes, well, I just see one. I go, I'm the other one. And he goes, oh, you pay over here. I'm like, oh. I go, well, how come this is like this? He goes, this is the way we're setting it up. I'm like, I don't like it. I go, I only brought my driver's license and my money.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, chaos. You gotta pick this, and then whatever green, you get to sit, and whatever's red, you can't. And, oh, mother fudge. I was like, it's getting too difficult for me. I know.
Oh, it's not there yet, okay. Call,
Want me to text him? I'll text him.
Text him.
Text him.
Don't make me more nervous.
Remember, I know how to do that. Oh, he's on my other one.
By the way, congratulations on your wedding.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. Very cool. And I'm glad you were going.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Right.
I can say that.
Okay, well, listen, how do we make this part of the record? Rick? Your tech people could
I was gonna
send
text
written copy of this so we can get it in the record.
But you're here.
So, Randy found that each HDMI cable.
Sandy,
Yeah.
he's saying, the governor's saying something?
If you could send, Rin and, who else? Copy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get
Or
this,
if you have a hard copy that you can give me
Yes,
before
we
you
do.
leave,
Yeah, it's
everybody
here.
that speaks, that would be
Yeah,
great.
we already.
Okay,
So
Got a
you can
little,
have a USB and
insert there?
okay, and this is all the videos?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
little insert thing, okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Take care.
we're ready.
And we don't wanna know what those.
No, I don't know what that is, I'm not even asking, I think it's a flash,
Flash
I've heard of those.
I've just been told not to ever use them.
Oh, there you go, we can probably break that.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. No, but I just heard all of them are really, that they can have,
Bugs.
things in them that create hazards, yeah. Yeah. That's right.
We're almost.
Sorry, we're getting there.
Aaron,
Shake his head no?
did you get a chance to talk to Craig
Okay.
about the CZ?
Yes.
We had a call with them last night.
How are we doing? Or do you want us to just go with reading and stuff?
Yeah, if they can send, this laptop's not configured to Casio, and it's not board drivers right now. So unless they have a different laptop.
Okay, in layman's terms, are you telling me?
It won't cast to the screen right now. This laptop won't do it.
Okay, then why don't we do this? Why don't you just put the screen here so we can see it? I assume.
Back on the record.
We're back in the meeting.
Could I ask a quick question?
Please.
Video. Are you able to let me know, is this a full and unedited video of the entire meeting?
That is edited because it makes it shorter, so it will not play the whole thing.
So it is
normally.
edited?
Yeah, it is.
Do you have,
I believe it will.
okay, I would like for the record
Yeah.
to see that.
Okay.
Just so that I can see the full context of
Yeah.
the conversation.
Understand. Thank you.
I can tell you from what I'm receiving, I don't even know how the dentist is gonna respond to the complaint, but, because you can't make heads or tails out of it, but good luck. And when he comes to me and says, I'm gonna say, go talk to the governor, because, yeah,
Who is this?
go talk to the governor.
Well, that is the executive director. That is
But what
one
are
of our
their
dads. This is Sophia Long, Deb Schaefer, maybe? I'm not
Deb
positive her
Schaefer.
name.
Deb
Melanie
Schaefer, not
Chapman.
Doug.
This is the board president. I'm not positive her name.
Okay. Got it.
So the
Okay,
first
go
video
ahead.
is done.
Thank you.
That's it?
That's
That's
it?
it for the first video.
Oh, for the first video?
Okay.
It's the first video against what he had
Yeah.
said.
Okay.
So it gets better, juicier. Hello. Do I have to sit down or can I stand?
Yeah.
Is that on?
Yeah, it's on the screen, yeah.
My name is John Williford. I'm a concerned Nevada citizen. I would like to show you a 30-second video of the last dental board meeting when they discussed how their response was tit for tat in retaliation to the executive branch audit. Even after the whole executive branch committee denounced the dental board's response, at its last meeting, board member Sanders confirmed that the board's response was nicely written and he didn't have a problem with it. Board President Yvonne, sorry, I'm saying this wrong. After the dental board attorney Chapman says that the executive branch committee found that the board's response was very disrespectful according to some, Sanders immediately blurted out, "This is all tit for tat." I would like to point out the rest of the old time board members who mostly belong to the Dental Board Association conveniently voted their man Sanders as the only dentist board member on the most important patient complaints review panel. He is now the highest ranking dentist member who decides which patient complaints are dismissed and which are investigated. This board has conveniently just given him the power to dismiss patients' complaints. Give Sanders Association hundreds and thousands of dollars in membership fees each year. Sanders is the president of the Nevada Dental Association, which advises in its brochure that can prevent a complaint from going to the state board for the adjudication of the complaints as one of its members' benefits. As you can see, these old-time board members are playing musical chairs to work around the statutes in order to be able to dismiss legitimate patients' complaints. At the review panel level, ever since the audit prevents them from controlling which patient complaints gets filed and which don't. As you all know, the audit did find that legitimate patient complaints were blocked to file by the board's DSO coordinator, who is also a longstanding member of the Nevada State Board Association. How can the public be able to trust in with their complaints and being dismissed because of then Dennis pays Sanders hundreds of thousands of dollars each year for their membership association? On the other hand, how can licensees know if they are being unfairly being referred to a costly disciplinary hearing because they don't pay into Sanders Association? This is a potential antitrust liability for the state of Nevada. As a Nevada Dental Association, Officer Sanders hired a long member. I can't. Say what? Okay. I can't get that word. It's just not, I'm sorry. Hired a different lobbyist to protect the rights of the public. How could he have been ethically supported to actions and both lobbyists without having a conflict of interest with one of these entities? See video B. Sorry about that word.
Well, you've already written a response.
I've written a preliminary response that, that either the board can approve or can revise or can say, I want to do a different response. The response was an attempt to explain where we thought some of the miscommunication was.
It was nicely. Tit for tat.
Okay, I'm getting a little confused about what your group's doing here. You're each coming up with a long statement of your opinion and then you're playing a 30-second video?
So that you can see what is, so you can see what's happening.
Okay, can you just play the whole video so we can watch the whole thing, or is that one video?
It's not on the computer right now, but I can send it to you after. Would that be okay? Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah,
All right, are we gonna get another video after your time?
yes. Just a short one, yeah.
Okay.
Before you see this 60-second video. After 3 of the new board members are trying their best to support the Executive Branch Committee by reiterating that the Executive Branch Committee has oversight over the dental board, the Executive Director Schaefer, Board Attorney Chapman, and Deputy Attorney General Sophia Long individually said no, that they have no oversight over the dental board. The Executive Director Schaefer said that the auditors were just accountants. Schaefer goes on to demand that the executive branch needs to look at their own processes, and she also said that having 2 state audits was a waste of resources. As you can see, these old-time board members took no exception to what they were all saying, and this should give you some insight that they still don't think they were doing anything wrong, and that they think they do not have to answer to the Executive Branch Committee. I believe this board staff and the old-time board members are in it for the power to protect their own government jobs and their own dental profession, and they are not in it for the greater good of the public.
Is that our decision to make, or didn't they tell you that they were not happy with the response?
Well, they told us they weren't happy, but it is your decision whether or not you change it. I mean, just because they're not happy doesn't mean that it's a incorrect, but that is up to you.
So the people who were auditing are oversight over the dental board, correct? They have oversight now?
No. No.
How's that work?
They're auditors, they're accountants. I'm gonna be really honest. I mean, one of the things that I found most concerning, we had an audit done by auditors in the legislative audit who have to comply with the standards of accounting. These auditors have to comply with the same standards. So my question was, why in the first audit weren't these addressed? The contracting issues, the expense summary forms were reviewed by the DSOs, but it wasn't addressed. So all I'm saying is maybe they need to look at
Hello, my name is Alexis Ashford and I'm a Nevada Concerned Citizen. The executive branch audit of the dental board that this board would be required to consult with the Nevada Commission of Ethics to determine compliance with using board positions with private opportunities immediately filing board service. Board Attorney Ms. Chapman and Deputy Attorney General Ms. Long were both present when this was presented at the LACT. In fact, the executive director said the auditors were just accounts. Ms. Chapman and Ms. Long refused to follow audit's recommendation to consult with the Ethics Commission before they advised the board that it was okay to hire an ex-board member. Sheriff Stoney, as a review panel member, well written with 1 year cooling off period. Not only did Ms. Long fail to acknowledge the Attorney General position, that he made it very clear that boards don't agree either because they've done the exact same thing. Ms. Long stated that if the audit is going to state that there is a problem with the dental board, it has to be a problem with some other boards too that have done exactly this. Ms. Long seems to defy logic and makes absolutely no sense. Just because the other boards are doing it, panel member without consulting with the Ethics Commission. Short of slapping the executive branch in the face with these board members, they have already defined auditors and you adopted recommendations in less than 2 weeks after they were told to check the Ethics Commission. After one of the new board members asked the executive director, Ms. Schaefer, if others were given an opportunity to apply for the review panel position, she lied. Not posted on the board website.
Issues that they had is board members who did not stay on in their position as board members for whatever reason, then having a position as a DSO. They felt that that was securing an advantage for themselves in a private opportunity through their board position. I've spoken to our AG,
agree either, because they've done the exact same thing. So if the audit is going to state that if they think it's a problem with the dental board, it has to be a problem with the rest, some other boards too have done exactly this. And not even just hire them as DSO. I know one board that hired a former board chair.
On and on and on and on. How about if we just don't abstain from everything? If we're gonna do an LB, I'm abstaining. That's that.
So anyway, so again, we're going to seek further guidance from the Ethics Commission, but currently, I don't read the law that way. Sophia doesn't read the law that way. None of the other boards read the law that way.
Okay, this is public comment, so we can't interact on the issue. But obviously, you've got me here, my counsel, the Attorney General here, and the Secretary of State, so we appreciate the input, and we'll look into it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Anyone else here on item number 15?
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you.